We live now in a country that ex-president has been has been indicted on charges. I'm just going to say it right now. We shouldn't be celebrating this. We should be ashamed of it. Donald Trump thought he was above the law. And now he's getting spanked for that belief. I read the indictment cover to cover. This is what in legal terms is called a grenada. Now we all know the military history grenada. It was easy. That's all that needs to be said. But we shouldn't be celebrating this. We should be living in fear of it. And not because Donald Trump was indicted, mind you. No. Don't misunderstand that. I'm glad he's indicted and he's getting exactly what he deserves. But in the last 24, at the time of this video, the last 24 hours, social media has been inundated with straight up threats from people in Congress, and ordinary in the Senate, and ordinary Trump supporters. Some, like Kevin McCarthy, screaming their heads off, trying to impress Donald Trump, saying, this is wrong, this shouldn't happen, blah, 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 yak, yak, yak. And people like Kari Lake and Andy Biggs posting straight up threats. From Kari Lake saying that there are millions of us and they're card-carrying members of the NRA. If that's not a threat for political violence, I don't know what is. And Andy Biggs pretty much trying to say on Twitter, we're going to start a civil war. I have faith in the men and women of law enforcement, whether federal, state, or local, that they won't let something like this happen as we get closer and closer to the day that Donald Trump has to appear before the court. But these kind of threats should show you, as it shows me, how dangerous these people really are. They're willing to go to war. They're willing to go to war for Donald Trump. Not because our freedoms are being infringed on, for Donald Trump. Not because our government is incredibly oppressive, but for Donald Trump. Not because innocent lives are being lost, but for Donald Trump. If these people were so angry about mass shootings happening in this country, the situation with mass shootings that we have in this country would disappear. Now, I'm not saying that let me rephrase that. I don't mean to use the word disappear. Let's just say it won't be an everyday occurrence, an every week occurrence. It'll probably be a blip on the radar screen. And that's not to diminish those lives that are being lost. I'm saying that it won't happen at the frequency that we've been seeing over the last few months, in the last few years. What I'm trying to say is that these people are serious. They are tweeting on open Twitter, open Facebook. I have seen stuff on Truth Social that will make you scared out of your mind. Supporting Donald Trump is one thing. You want to support the man? Fine. I'm not going to eat your lunch for it. But when you start making terroristic threats on open Facebook, what is to stop me or anyone else from reporting that? And I don't mean to Facebook or Twitter, I mean to the police, to the FBI, to every law enforcement agency you can think of. Give them the photos of their profile picture on Facebook, Twitter, and whatnot, and tell them they are making terroristic threats. At no point have I ever made any kind of threats against Donald Trump, his family, or the families of anyone who supports him. I am not like that. I have said for years that all I want is Donald Trump in jail, humiliated and abandoned. I have never said I want the man dead. In my view, death is too easy. death is too quick for someone like Donald Trump, who's caused so much suffering in his lifetime. See, what really bothers me about these types of people who make those types of threats is that you're angry about all this, about one man being indicted for crimes he committed against this country. This isn't some, with all respect to victims of sexual abuse, this isn't some he said, she said case like the E. Jean Carroll case. This is federal crimes. If you've read the indictment, as I have, all 42 pages, I believe it was, all the pages of it, you would see that this is not some game. This isn't some, let's pick on Trump. This is serious. I read the indictment. If it were up to me, if I were Merrick Garland or someone, or the Attorney General, even if it wasn't Merrick Garland, and you better think you're lucky stars, Donald Trump, Trump supporters, that I'm not, I would go for treason. The gravest capital punishment there is in this country, punishable by life imprisonment or the death penalty. In that time, I would go for death penalty. I would. But that's just me. This is serious. You really think that Jack Smith, the special counsel, would actually go this far if he didn't have a tight case? Why he took as much time as he did building evidence, getting evidence? And the joke to all of this is that Donald Trump could have said, yes, I had paid. You could have done exactly what Mike Pence, his former vice president, who wanted them hanged. He could have done what Joe Biden, as much as you Trumpers despise this man. He could have done what they did. Yes, I have papers. I'm sorry. Here they are. He didn't do that. We wouldn't be sitting here talking about the possible indictment and maybe even imprisonment of a former president. Now the current frontrunner for the Republican Party's nomination for the 2024 election. We wouldn't be sitting here if Donald Trump had just did the right thing. Say, I have papers here. I thought that I could declassify them. Apparently I was wrong. I apologize. And we wouldn't be talking about this. Unfortunately, here we are. Donald Trump is about to pay a heavy, heavy price. And now, honestly, I really don't know. I don't know what to say to this anymore. But when Donald Trump supporters start making terroristic threats, we need to keep our eyes open. Now, the indictment in New York City, that's panini stuff. But when you have sitting members of Congress and the Senate barking threats, when you have someone like Carrie Lake saying that you have millions of people in their card-carrying members of the NRA, it's no different than what Sharon Angle did, talking about Second Amendment remedies. It's no different than what Pastor Stephen Brolin saying about revolution, and that's not the only option. See, the danger to this year is that they're willing to go to war over one man being indicted. Why can't they put their energy into something more important? Like the very things that they say that the Republicans campaigned on to win their elections in 2022. Gas prices, high drug prices, inflation, the big one, inflation. They haven't done anything like that. All they've done is try to get Biden and protect Trump. And now they are threatening civil war. Don't make no mistake about this, Biggs. I am going to see to it that you are charged with inciting a terroristic plot. on this country, Representative Andy Biggs. Your tweet could be used against you. Kerry Lake, the loser governor, the loser gubernatorial candidate of Arizona, you want to make threats against us? Then you better be ready to face the consequences of those threats. It's bad enough you wasted millions of dollars trying to prove that you won the election, which you did not. It's bad enough you're playing from the playbook of Donald Trump, which is a loser every day of the week. But now, you want to make terroristic threats against this country, against its people, for the sake of one person? At no point while you Republicans, while you Maga, were threatening Barack Obama and defaming him, at no point have I ever threatened you with anything. Because words, sticks and stones, words and all that kind of crap. We're talking about a man who could be facing federal time. We're talking about a man who committed crimes against this country, who may have put lives at risk. In the indictment, he said, Jack Smith said that what Donald Trump did put our national security at risk. What happened to law and order? Republicans, MAGA? I guess the law only applies when it's not talking about Donald Trump. My advice to all of you, and here are three groups of people I want to talk to. First, my fellow Americans, don't celebrate this. Be aware and beware. Second, to the MAGA, don't make threats, because I will be there to report every single one of you. If I have to stay up late to make sure you guys don't put American lives at risk, that is exactly what I will do. This support for Donald Trump doesn't give you carte blanche to start threatening people. And as for you, Donald Trump, I already know you're on Truth Social. You're going insane, all because you're about to be dragged into a federal court. Watch your damn mouth. Because everything you're saying on Truth Social will be used against you. Hell, it's probably going to be used against you. So I've said my piece on this. So here are the facts, Donald. Get yourself ready for a very long year. Because I already know that Judge Anine Cannon is going to delay this till after the 2024 election, where you'll probably be immunized if you win. Hell, even if you get the nomination. However, don't think for 1 second that we're going to forget everything that's happened at this point. The indictment is now a matter of public record. Every time, here's some more advice for you, my fellow Americans. Every time some Donald Trump supporter wants to scream, what about Hillary, what about Obama, what about Joe Biden, remind them of this. Hillary Clinton and Joe Biden faced the music. No force, no fear. They did what they had to do, what they were supposed to do. Donald Trump didn't. And here we are. Donald Trump's head in a very bad position. This didn't need to happen. But here we are. CTP, know the truth. God bless. Peace to the left, justice to the right.